Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kyushu here, and now, before we begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Izuku. Izuku has been at the manor, and he has been training for months, along with even going out on patrols to try and find another one of Sukuna's fingers. He's also talked to his ancestor and done quite a lot of things. Somebody came to the manor to talk to Izuku because they believe that he might be involved with his ancestor. And they wanted to help Izuku on his search. They are involved in the Sorcerer Society. They're aware of the way the world works, where people, they don't even perceive that part of the world. And Izuku, he talked with this man, gave him 2 weeks to get him weapons and information, otherwise he will feed him his own entrails and murder his family. Oh boy, cruelty. Anyways, now, Izuku, he began to wait. Along with that, began to actually somewhat whip his group into shape. If he wants people to train with, they need to be more powerful and stronger. Along with that, he needs to do quite a bit to find this missing finger. And Sukuna himself has not been happy. Izuku, he hasn't found any leads. He goes out and kills curses. That's it. Right now he's acting as if he is a sorcerer, instead of acting as if he is a king. Yes, he cannot be complacent, but the information has not been found yet. And a week has passed. This man has dropped off multiple weapons for Izuku and his allies. Yet that information, it has not come. And Izuku, he does wait a few more days. And currently he does go walk outside and look around. Currently him with his pants on and a strange black belt tied to his waist, along with even a sword on his hip. And Izuku, he does think about quite a lot of things. Currently him bringing his hand up and grabbing onto the sword hilt. Him resting his arm on it and going to try and think about a lot. He has a lot of things already. He has influence, power, but there is more he does want. Sukuna is his path to true power. He knows that. He's aware of that. His path to becoming the strongest man on the planet. No. He's not the strongest yet. Do not allow yourself to become arrogant, Izuku. Currently, Deku, Goinus won't stand there. And there actually is where Tokage. Wrong story, not My Zombie Academia. There currently is where Toga does come to walk out of the manor. Right now, her going to do so with a weapon herself. And she is rather happy. She got a few nifty little gadgets. And they seem to be quite fun. Now, Deku, he does just want to sit down. Right now, him turning his head and trying to talk with Mahito. Ask me a few questions about a few things. And there is even we're going to try and ask Sukuna internally about what they can do, about what can happen after they deal with quite a few other things. They want to deal with a few heroes, but at the same time, they'll have to wait later. He doesn't know where he does scale. He can run up buildings and climb walls with his bare hands. But still, that's not fun. Regular humans he can torment, hunt down and butcher. Even get a taste for their flesh. Understand what his ancestor found so interesting about them. He could do the same thing Sukuna did with curses. Consume their flesh and add their power to his own. Another way to get stronger. Certainly could be something. But what else could he do? Currently Deku walking onto the battlefield and going to turn, waiting for somebody to step up to fight him. And there actually is later, where Zuko, he doesn't get a phone call because the man at the other end is a bit hysterical and excited about the information he currently found because it just saved his life. And that it's very good for him. And Izuku, he does not sit there. I know him with someone holding the phone up to his ear. Him asking the man if he can just flat out tell him. Right, right. Um, do you need a moment to write it down, or I could wait? All right. I'm going to turn, expressing. Someone will hand over the phone to themselves, and then they'll take down the information. They'll write it down, and he will listen to everything they do say. Does he understand? Yes, yes. Currently, Toga taking the phone and bringing it up to her ear. Her standing up and going to walk over and write it down. Deku sitting there as he does have a lot going through his mind. Him asking his ancestor a question. Sukuna wants to remain hidden. That is easy. He could train and train and train and gather these fingers slowly. But their deal, yeah. In order to honor it, he can't work slow if he wants to get all this said and done. They have a binding vow, and that vow is that Izuku will get him a suitable body for him to inhabit. And until that time, he needs him to train. He needs Sukuna to help him. These two have a symbiotic relationship at the moment. They both need each other. Izuku might be able to have the reins cut off and run free, but he would not last long in this world. It would tear him apart. He would make an impact, just not a really good splash. It's that simple. In Sukuna, without Izuku, he would still be trapped there, waiting for somebody to come to his shrine and tear him out of his coffin. Well, someone finally did, but that isn't exactly the point. And currently, Toga, we're going to walk over and lean down, her showing off the paper and asking Izuku about what exactly they should do now. And Deku, he would stand. Currently, him needing to clear his mind and have a personal conversation with his ancestor. Because the team is going to be deployed to this location tonight. And if he doesn't intercept them, if he doesn't intercept the finger, they'll get it. And it will be locked away with who knows how many others. And that is currently the biggest problem. And Izuku, he does go to shower. Currently, Sukuna trying to tell the boy what he needs to do, how to focus on things and handle them. These people may not be that big of a threat. He might be overreacting. Curse techniques are definitely something that you should watch out for. But don't let them talk too much. Don't let them explain it. Don't let them bother. If Izuku deems it to be that he doesn't want to be entertained or even see what they can do, he will kill them. He is physically stronger and more capable. Plus, if he does need to, just activate his binding vow, the one he has made, and it will be simple. Use what he has. Use his intelligence. Make a tactic and follow it if he does so deem it necessary. However, do not back out of this challenge. And Izuku, he doesn't understand. Currently, Sukuna's face going to disappear from the side of Deku's head. And Deku, he's going to walk into his room and sit down. Him getting dressed and going to head out. And tonight is a very, very cold night. We do cut to two other people who all do go to stand there. and it's certainly intriguing. They're heading into a place that's dangerous. Someone will have a finger, and well, yeah, it's gonna be weird. And Deku, when Ray does arrive at the location, he would go to stand there. Him watching on as he could see the thing in the distance that tells him everything. And currently somebody, they could activate a curtain. And Izuku, he would look up, currently watching the curtain being a form overhead, and close off the area to the public. And Izuku, he is already inside. He was not supposed to be here. But now that he's in, he is on the battlefield. Almost practically locked in here with a few other people. Well then, isn't that quite fun? Though, it does mean a lot. Currently Deku turning his head and staring at the curtain, wondering about the rules it might have. And Sukuna is beginning to explain quite a bit of things to Izuku. And right now, that is where Deku will get a turn. Him going to walk into the area as the group of sorcerers, they themselves are talking about a lot. They have begun to make their way through the area. All they gotta do is find a cursed spirit and destroy it. And it's only about, what, one Sukuna finger worth of curse. Yeah, maybe they did pick a bad day to come to work. That currently going through one of their minds. And there actually is Izuku, who would stand up at the building and look down. Currently, him sitting there and thinking about a lot. He wants to observe them, see what they can do. If they can take on the cursed spirit, then everything will be said, done, and dandy. If they can't, then things will certainly be very intriguing. And Deku, he would go to begin. Currently, him going to stand by and wait. In Sukuna, he is a bit more intrigued. He wants to know what Izuku's doing. And Deku, he does begin to just watch and learn. Currently, the team taking on the cursed spirit and breaking it down. And Izuku, he does go to watch these people walk out and get a few things prepared. It took them some time, and they do have their own injuries. Izuku's not discounting that. He heard the battle, he heard the ground shake, and he even saw the area explode. It was intriguing. They certainly lasted. Though, now it's time to step in. Currently, Deku gonna bend down and leap through the air. Right now, him jumping high and flying forwards. And these sorcerers, they're talking about quite a lot. Someone turning to their colleague and talking about, he owes him a drink, right? Come on. You're saying that I owe you a drink? You're buying the first round. No, wait. The first 5. I think that thing broke my ribs. Come on, come on. We all know that I got the final hit on it. It was my technique that actually did some damage. Like hell. I'm telling you, I'm the one who got that thing down. All of them staying there a lot happier. And currently Deku would have smashed down in front of them and then would have fully stand up. All of them staring at Deku. And Deku, he does stand there. Currently, him bringing his hand up and pulling off his coat. Right now, him pulling off the cloth covering his body like a shirt. And the group in front of him do to stare on. Because to them, this looks like Izuku Ryomen, the survivor of the Sukuna clan massacre. And he's standing in front of them. But this doesn't make sense. They go looking up, and all of them do get to see his eyes. which do glow red. And then there's this feeling behind him. The amount of cursed energy pouring off of the sky, it's really bad. Now, everyone, they do try to get ready. Deku's not holding back Sukuna. Sukuna's intent can be felt here entirely by all. He can sense his finger, and he wants it. And all of them, they are aware of the situation. They just got out of one life and death battle. And currently, there is another. Izuku rushing forwards, and one of the people do to get ready. Currently, them stepping forwards and bringing their hands up. Them going to throw out something as Deku, he would go to just do one thing. Here's that dodge through the air. Currently, him getting close and bringing his hand up. Him smashing it down as he would go to use cleave. Now, Deku, he would go to actually slice the person through the arm. Right now, them a lot more alarmed as they do go flying backwards, and the group does get on the offensive. Currently, Deku, him going to stand there and express to all of them. Currently, bring his bloody hand up to his lips about how all of them really should know what to do. Besides, he wants them all to know he's here for the finger, and he will get it. Currently, the person, Deku slashed, currently going to land backwards and on the ground. Them bringing their hand down and grabbing more of the tools on their waist. And Izuku, we're going to express, currently bringing his hand up. That's not good. Let's see. Him turning his head, and staring at the other two. Currently them holding on to cursed weapons, as Deku would bring his hand down. Him grabbing his sword and pulling it from the sheath. Him staring at the weapon and telling all of them, this is a very, very powerful sword. It has strength. And all of them, they're lacking it. He is going to do something quite simple. Deku throwing the sword to the ground. Right now it flying through the air and smashing in front of all of them. Currently it sticking to the concrete with its handle pointed towards them. And Deku, we're going to move forwards. Talking about it. Whoever picks up the blade has a fighting chance. So, which one of them wants the chance to live? Otherwise, face him now. And he will make it swift. And two of the sorcerers do go rushing forwards. And the woman Deku injured, she doesn't stand there. Her holding onto her weapons and going to just wait a second. Right now her throwing them out at Deku and going to make sure he knows she threw them. And Deku, we're going to watch on. Currently the lady going to talk about it. Her curse technique is very, very simple. Every time she holds onto an object, she can make an illusion of it. Though at any time, she can always destroy the illusion, or make it seem like that object doesn't exist. And Deku, he does just stare at the objects flying towards him. Deku bring his hands up and begin to bat them out of the air with his hands. Currently, Deku having one of those objects strike him in the arm as it would manifest and appear out of nowhere. And the two people who do go rush towards him do get ready. Currently, one person sharing out their curse technique as Deku, he would immediately get a turn. Him backhanding them as he does, go slice them across the throat. Currently Deku using his mantle. Now, this does mean quite a bit. The person being sent flying towards the ground as Deku would go bring his hand up. Him then turning and smashing his fist at the other person. Them bring their hands up to block as Deku, he does a smash directly into their arms and send them flying backwards. Them smashing backwards onto the ground before going to actually don't sit there, going to get back up. And Deku, he would watch on. Him stepping forwards as the person does a rush in, picking up Deku's sword as he going to turn, because his vow has activated. And Deku, he has his own smile. Him bending down and bringing his hand out, expressing about how it's rather interesting, isn't it? Him searching the man's pockets and going to actually somewhat pull up the finger. The woman stepping forwards and smashing the sword down through Deku's back. And currently Deku, he will somewhat look down. Him looking at that, and then going to fully stand back up and turn around. The woman staring at Izuku as he was going to do one simple thing. He brings his hand up and pushes the blade out. Right now, it falling backwards and landing onto the ground. And Deku talks about how she interrupted his conversation. They will fight. So, Deku bringing his hand up and rushing forwards. Her going to actually try and move out of the way as Izuku, he was just going to do one thing. He does going to throw a left hook. However, at the same time, he's going to throw a right. Her dodging out of the way and going to bring her hands up. Deku smashing her in the gut and seeing her flying backwards and into the ground. Deku going to stand there and bring his hand up, holding onto the finger, before he would have put it into his mouth and swallow. And currently Izuku, he does just won't sit there. Him feeling this sensation reverberate through his body. And Sukuna, he does feel a lot more of his power begin to return. And this, it does mean quite a bit. Currently Sukuna going to stand there. As Deku, he does just won't switch out. And the sorcerer who is wounded, they do gonna do one thing. Going to get ready. It is gonna be a bit of a risk. Though, it is a dire emergency. They didn't pull it out, but hey. Currently them going to actually cock back the hammer and aim the gun up. And Izuku, he'll turn his head, them firing the weapon as he does, going to bring his hand up and dodge. Him turning and bring his hand down, slashing into the man and cutting across his face. Currently him being blinded and out of cursed energy. Because that didn't work. He reacted a little too fast. And this, it does mean quite a bit. Currently, the King of Curses staring at the last person remaining on the battlefield. He's unhappy with them. Currently, him holding onto the weapon, throwing it over his shoulder, and then going to actually spin it around his hand, catching onto the blade and holding it up. Talking about how they certainly took action, and they certainly know their way around a weapon. Though, he does have to tell them, this blade is special. It does belong to his descendant. You're him. Yes, yes I am. I am the King of Curses, and I stand before you. And I only have one thing to say to you. You're going to kill me. Yes. Yes, I am. Interesting technique. However, currently him going to bring his hand up, telling her he's got something even better than that. And the lady, we're going to turn. Her standing up and trying to run. And Sukuna, he does get to begin the domain expansion. And the woman, she is caught inside. And there actually is later, where this team did not report back in. They went in and tried to find out what was going on with their own people. And all they found was death. They found their people ripped to shreds, killed. One guy just dead, slashes across his face and neck. Another guy with some deep wounds, and the last person, they were just crushed. But they don't know what they were crushed by. That's the thing. It's bad because Sukuna's finger isn't here. And these attacks, the way this looks, it's very similar to the family massacre. This curse was believed to be involved with that. But if it took down the... No. If the team that took it on took it down, then they would have had the finger. So Something else was here and after the finger. This isn't. No, this can't be a curse that's involved. There's some other element, something else they're not seeing. And this does have them worried. And we do cut to Izuku, who does sit there in a limousine pouring a glass of wine. Him holding it up and staring at it. Currently, him looking at the pretty red color as his claws, they do begin to have the blood dry onto them. Him taking a sip and savoring the flavor. As Momo does sit there, smiling all over her face. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoy and have an amazing day. And Merry Christmas.